Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Campy Creatures is a really fun, hand management game with a fantastic theme on it. And when I saw this game, I knew it was built for me. Campy Creatures just has this artwork that just draws me into it and makes me feel like I'm in those old monster movies and what we're going through. The locations strike me as fancy, the monsters that you're using and going through, and the little powers. Very simple game to teach, very simple game to play, but a lot of interaction. You're actually playing the other players. For example, the mummy card comes out, and you get a bonus if a Kaiju is played this turn. So there's little things like if you can read or start to deduce as your opponent plays cards, they can't play them again for the round until the round is over. So you kind of know if they already played that, they can't play it. So that leaves them with these options. They really need this. So it's a whole reading of what's going on. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of these, but Campy Creatures really does it for me. It's quick, easy to learn and teach. The powers make sense. As you play it a couple times, you start to memorize them and start to see patterns and strategies. If you want to add in the expansion number 1, you certainly can do that. That kind of shakes things up a little bit where you're always not certain how things are going to interact and how people will play. Love the appeal of this game. Love the theme of it. I love everything about this game. Campy Creatures is one of my big surprises. I played it for the first time this year. Absolutely adore and love it. And I play with the expansion. Here's Campy Creatures, and by the front of the box, you probably already know if you like it or not. The artwork is just amazing in this game, and it's my favorite artwork I've ever seen. Here's a quick start book, which I'll show you in a little bit, and you're going to have a bunch of cards, which are going to have, like I said, some of the greatest artwork you've ever seen. Like, look at this blob, and you got the swamp creature. You got the invisible man. This artwork, which looks like they're movie posters. They are just fantastic. The cosmonaut. The teenager that's running, the greaser, it's so fantastic. Now these you'll be using to score and have tiebreakers. These woods all have, they're different colors and they have different symbols on them, which is fantastic for colorblind. And then you're going to have the board that you'll be using. It's kind of sits down. It's really just a score marker, and it'll have your tiebreakers there. Excellent, excellent. Love, love, love. Look at Demogorgon. I love the artwork in this game. It's fantastic. So here's a rule book that'll come with it. Mad Scientist Handbook, Volume 3. I want to read 1 and 2. How to Capture Mortals. Just fantastic. I mean, look at this. It had me laughing and smiling. As you go through, it'll have great explanations of everything with pictures and examples. You could probably read this book in 10 minutes or less and be up and going. You have everything in here, every card in the game with a fact explained to you, which is just fantastic, and a quick start in case you need to do this. The game's going to be set up. You're going to have everybody here in player order. You're going to take the final location, put 2 mortals there, add a location. You're going to add 2 more of the assistants in, and then you're going to put a location. You're going to put a number of those based on the number of players. So what's going to happen on a turn is you're going to see everybody play a card. So I'm just going to give you a couple cards here and kind of show you how this works. So let's say player 1 played the 8, player 2 played the 1, and player 3 played the 3. So what's going to happen is if you have a 1 at the bottom of it, you will activate first. And each round, there are going to be a number of mortals, based on the number of players, that will be put out here for you guys to collect. So if they play this, capture immediately if a Kaiju is in play. So Kaiju is in play because somebody played it. He could pick whatever card he wanted, and he would go ahead and capture this mortal, and that would be the mummies. Then you would go to number 2, and you would go based on the number. So 8 would be able to grab a card, and let's say he wanted the assistant. And then you would go to number 3, and he would grab a card. And there's no card for the third player, so he doesn't get anything, and that was a great thing about playing the mummy card. Then you would just do it again, and another 3 mortals would come out. You would play 3 different cards. Let's say they play these cards. You would do the same thing. There's no 1 at the bottom here, so none of these would activate. You go to step 2. You have an 8, so he's going to pick first. Let's say he picks the cosmonaut. And then you have the werewolf. Force the player to your right to discard a card. So he's going to take the archaeologist, and whoever's sitting to his right would have to discard a card. The swamp creature, and give the mortal you capture to another player. Now he would have to give this to somebody else. So you activate the powers. That's it. Each round is going to be a location that's up. When the deck of mortals has 1 card or no cards left, or you can't deal out the number that you're supposed to, the round ends. Whoever has the most locations, so you count up who has the most of these symbols on their cards, will get this. So this one says, weaken a creature -2 before revealing on a future turn. So if it has a hand on it, I would take this and I could use it on my next turn whenever I wanted to. Then you would grab more of the assistants. The reason why more assistants are coming in the game, each round after you score the points, so let's say this person had the most teenagers, are going to score their 11 points. This would come up here. This would go back in the deck that's going to be shuffled. If you get assistants, you keep them between rounds. So the only cards you keep between the rounds. So you take all the other cards with the new ones. You would take this, and you would shuffle up the mortals, and you'd be on your blank. At the end of the round is when you pick up all your monsters. So during the round, if you play a monster card, that's all you can play. So you're stuck there. Once you play the 5, it's done. So now I know I play the 5. I know that card's not going to come back up. And you continue to play until you get to the final act. And usually it's a scoring card. Whoever has the most locations will win this and score. Whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Who should buy this game? Anybody who wants a light filler type hand management game. You don't mind going after each other just a little bit. And it's not like I'm take that because I have this card. It's more of a situation where it is you're trying to outguess your opponents. I think that works. There's a little bit of strategy into it and deduction and bluffing that I really do enjoy. Excellent game. Anybody can play this. The monsters aren't scary. It's fine for children. One I highly recommend for just about anybody.